Doing this right or wrong could be the difference between you catapulting yourself into the fourth dimension of your wealth building existence, or it could just be the most devastating thing that you've ever taken part in. So, pretty much the choice is yours. All right, I'm just kidding. It's not that extreme, but it definitely can make or break your real estate investing career. So you guys should for sure take it pretty seriously. I pulled up a property already. It's in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm choosing this area because this is where I actually bought my first rental property. So I just figured why not do there. So to start, so this calculator I really like to use. It is calculator.net rental property calculator. It's a free calculator. When you type in rental property calculator on Google, it's actually the first thing that pops up. So shouldn't be too hard for you guys to find, but I really like this tool and I think it's super helpful. I highly advise you use it. All right, here we got Emerald Hills Drive, Memphis, Tennessee. $115,000 purchase price on that property. For the down payment, your down payment is always typically in a rental property, as long as you don't try to, like, say it's owner occupied and turn it into a rental property. You're always going to need to put 20 to 25% down on an investment loan. That's just standard. That's the way it is. We're going to leave it at 20 just because I'd say that's the most common down payment on rental properties. All right, interest rate. Interest rates today are a lot higher than they were like a year ago, guys. And I think many of you maybe already know that, but we were looking at maybe around 3.5% if you got one on the better end about a year ago, to recently it's been up at 7 plus. I do believe it's gone down a tiny bit maybe in the past couple weeks or something. I'm not really sure. I don't actually check it every day, but I think again it's at 6, so we'll just keep it at 6.5 to be conservative. Another thing is you definitely want to be, it's better to be conservative with your estimates, like over project your costs and be pleasantly surprised when the property performs better than you thought, than to kind of type in, wishful expenses and be upset when you realize, hey, this property didn't turn out, yielding as much as I thought, or it ended up being a bad investment. So again, be conservative with this. I highly recommend that. Loan term. So we're going to keep it at a 30-year loan term. I personally would definitely always recommend a 30-year fixed mortgage if you guys are buying investment properties. Conventional loan, there's going to be people that tell you, oh, you can make money doing this variable interest rate, whatever, but I don't recommend doing that. Maybe if you're super advanced and whatever, but I'm assuming most of the people watching this are just getting into it. So 30-year fixed mortgage rate, that's what we're going with. All right, so next we got closing costs. I've heard people go as low as 2% closing costs, and I've seen people say 3 to 6%, and I'm sure there's people that say higher. Basically, your closing costs as a buyer are essentially just going to be like your loan costs. So it's going to be sometimes points, and what points are is basically a percentage of the loan amount that you have to pay up front before actually being given the loan. There's going to be other weird loan origination fees and underwriting and this and that. So again, they say 3 to 6 is a pretty common thing I hear. So just to be safe, we're going to do 6%, which is going to be $6,900. Sometimes you can convince the sellers to actually pay for your closing costs. Right now, the market has definitely cooled down a lot, so buyers have a lot more leverage to kind of negotiate with sellers. So if you guys are making offers right now, I'd say definitely tell your realtor, hey, let's try to get the seller to pay for the closing costs. Next, we got property taxes. Let's go back over to Zillow here and look at the monthly costs. Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, they're all super great resources to be able to find this stuff. It makes it so easy. Property taxes on this property, it is estimating it's going to be $1,714 a year. Okay, don't pay attention to the annual increase right now. We'll go over that in a bit, but for now, let's just focus on getting these basic pointers in. Next, we've got home insurance, $40 a month, $483 a year. Okay, so we'll trust that, but Again, what I've done in the past when trying to figure out the insurance on potential properties, again, this was me running properties, before I was even ready to buy. As I'm telling you guys, you definitely should. I would call different insurance companies and just say, hey, I'm thinking about buying this house. Could you guys, as an investment property, could you guys give me a quote on it, and just, shop around a little bit if you want to get really accurate with it and figure that out. But again, you could just use Zillow if you want to do the easy way. HOA fee. In Memphis, there's very rarely HOAs. No HOA fee. Maintenance. So this is one that's definitely, again, highly debated. There's two different kinds of maintenance also. So first maintenance would be like your little stuff that goes wrong in the house, like maybe light bulbs or a broken garbage disposal. Or let's say, when tenants move out and you're trying to re-lease your place, you're definitely oftentimes going to need to do what they call turn the property, which just means you might need to paint the walls a little bit. Maybe parts of the carpet are messed up. Hopefully it's not too much. I hope for your guys' sake it's not. But yeah, just little things like that. Things are going to go wrong, and that's the beauty of renting. Is unlike owning a house that you live in, when something goes wrong, you call the landlord, you call the property manager, and you tell them they have to take care of it. So you got the little maintenance stuff, and then you will have what's called CapEx, or capital expenditures. All right, capital expenditures are basically the big stuff that you're predicting is going to go wrong at some point, such as the roof, the water heater, the AC unit, like stuff like that has a certain shelf life, and it's going to need to be replaced after a certain time. So you definitely want to account for the little maintenance things and the big maintenance things, being the capital expenditures. All right, so you can just combine them. I think it makes a lot of sense to combine them. There's no need to really do it separately. I'd say a conservative number for this is 12%, and that is going to be $1,728. So, and this is the percentage of the annual rent that you're getting from the property. So if the rent is going to be $1,200 that we're estimating we're going to get for this, so 1,200 times 12 is going to give you the annual amount of rent you expect to receive. And then your maintenance is going to be a percentage of that annual rent you collect that you can, hopefully you're putting that on the side, even if it does show up like cash flow, if nothing's gone wrong. Hopefully you're putting that on the side, because you better believe stuff's going to break and you're going to want to have that money to fix it. And you're going to want to understand, like, even if it looks like you have a lot of cash flow, do these calculations so you know how much is actually going to most likely be yours to keep and how much is going to be like income that you need to maintain the property with. Awesome. HOA fee, we're going to put 0. Other costs, 0, because we pretty much covered everything. Again, for rent, go to Zillow. Let's see here. You got a lot of good information on here, okay? The rent estimate is $1,200 for this property. We're going to go with $1,200. Other good ways to do this are you can look for similar properties for rent in the area. You want it to be in the same neighborhood or very close. Same size bedrooms, same size bath. And don't be going based off something too far. It might be in a way better or a way worse neighborhood, but if you can find something nearby, same size, similar, maybe hopefully a couple that you can kind of average just to be safe, that's a good way. Also, if you're working with a realtor and they're an expert in their area, they should definitely be able to tell you this information. So that's another good way to get this, but for our purposes, we're just going to use Zillow. Other monthly income, we're going to put 0. Vacancy rate, I put 4%. I was, the people who sold me the property, which, good people. I'm happy with everything, our experience with them, so I'm not trying to say anything bad. They said 4% is what they estimate, so that's what I used. A lot of other people say 6%, so let's pay 6%. Management fee. If it's close and you're managing it yourself, then it's going to be 0. It's going to take some time out of your day to do, but that's fine. Management fee is typically 8 to 10%. What I pay my management company is 8%, so that's what we're going to do. Next, we got value appreciation. Let's just put 5% per year, okay? This stuff is this is more based on if you're going to sell the property. So I guess, you can do this if you want. Definitely good to know, especially if you think you're going to sell it. But let's just do 40 years for holding length and cost to sell. Let's do 6%. So again, you don't even really need to put this in if you're just trying to figure out what it's doing on a day-to-day basis, then, or if you're just trying to figure out what it's doing like when you purchase it, like what it's going to look like that year, then great. And then last thing we have to do, annual increase, just accounting for like inflation and stuff. I know inflation's super high right now, but let's just do 3, keep it even across the board. If you ask me, you're kind of getting way too technical if you're trying to figure out like, is the insurance going to go up 7% and is the, HOA going to go up 4%? And you could do that. I think it's better to be, precise, but, again, without even considering the annual increase, you can figure out what your cash flow is going to be like year one, and that's the most important thing. So, all right, let's see what happens here. Let's calculate this. Okay, so with the cash flow for this property monthly is going to be $129. Okay, cool. Not too bad. $1,550 a year, and again, I don't know, maybe a lot of people think 129 is super low, whatever. I'm not going to argue that with you. You guys can find your standards on what you like, but and so yeah, this calculator just gives you all this cool information, your kind of overall return rate, profit when sold, cash on cash return. I mean, that's like over the course of if you were to hold it for 40 years like I typed in, but your capitalization rate is 7.42%. I'll go over another video kind of going into more of the terminology. I don't want to like bore you guys for too much longer, but if you're into real estate and real estate investing, start researching these terms. Research cash rate, cash on cash return, all that stuff is important to know. So great, guys. Well, yeah, I hope you found this kind of interesting and I didn't ramble too much. Again, I apologize if I was all over the place. Again, it was off the top of my head, and yeah, there you have it, guys. Please use the calculator. I encourage you. Analyze random rental properties if you're interested in real estate. It's gonna get you moving in the right direction. It's like dipping your toes in a little bit. Again, it'll probably motivate you. Okay, you know what? I want to do this. Like, I'm gonna start. How do I start saving a down payment? What do I need to change? How do I budget so I can do this? Like, I need to get a better job, or you know what I mean? And I hope to make videos covering all this stuff. So, thank you guys for watching. If there's any more questions or I wasn't clear on anything, please leave a comment and I will answer that for sure. But thank you guys again. I hope you guys all have a splendid day. See you later.